The old 49 Ford. She's always had traction problems, and as you can see, my yard is a skating rink. We've had an unusually warm January. So to get it out of its spot, it's chained up. And anybody who drives a two-wheel drive Cummins will tell you that you need chains to move in the winter. Anyway, so she's getting a welded diff because everything else has a welded diff. And it just makes sense. And then it won't get stuck on wet grass, hopefully. And then it's getting an exhaust brake. I'm going to put a manually actuated exhaust brake, if that works. Stealing the idea directly from Zip Ties and Bias Plies. He hasn't done it yet. I've been pestering him to do it. But as you can see, the turbo downpipe, there's probably going to be some clearance issues. Nothing that can't be fixed with a sledgehammer and a cutting torch. So, I just finished installing what we call a Lincoln locker. Oh yeah, everything's locked up nice now. No more differential action. We call it a Lincoln locker because that's the brand of welder I use to do the job. We're ready to put the cover on the back and move on to the next part of the build. I've taken the liberty of painting the rear cover. Looks good. Well, I did a shitty job, but anyway. Some of them have a magnetic plug. If your diff cover doesn't have a magnetic plug, it's not a bad idea to just stick a magnet in there. As long as it's a good one, you glue it in place, silicone it in place. It collects all the metal that comes off of all the moving parts. And, well, mine was plugged. Not a good thing, but, you know, give it time. It'll sort itself out or fly apart. Here we are again. We got everything tore apart, and because I'm lazy, there was already a clamp down there because I never welded it because I'm lazy and welding is a lot of work from down there. So luckily it's pretty easy to do, and I've got this end figured out. So there's going to be a spring from here to there, and that's in case something breaks on my end, and that way it won't jam the exhaust shut while I'm driving. No matter what, it will always fail open. So when I pull a rod in the interior, exhaust brake. Look at that terrible weld. It's almost like I did it myself. X marks the spot. That's where I have to drill for the control rod in the interior. As you can see, exhaust brake off, exhaust brake on. You don't need any fancy pneumatics. And for those of you wondering about putting holes in the firewall, there's lots of holes. That's a bullet hole, I think. There's lots of holes in the firewall in this thing. They're speed holes. They make the truck go faster. More holes, more faster. Now, this thing's far from finished, but for the purposes of testing the exhaust brake, let's see if it does anything at idle. We've got oil pressure, the altimeter's all over the place. It's a little cold, but see if I lose fingers. Oh, hard to tell. It's too cold. Oh, it's gonna take a little more effort. Probably gonna need to be moving to really test this thing. It does slow it down, but it sounds like there's an air leak to fix. Yeah, well, I got work to do. So I finished mounting this thing. Now, all you have to do is, and look at that A for effort quality. I even put a blocker to stop some of the wind and mechanic wire. Anyway, yeah, simple as that. Exhaust brake. Self-returning, spring return, safety first. Now we just got to road test it. So here we are, it's Saturday. It's above zero, it's windy. There's a fair amount of fresh snow on the ground. I'm going to pick up a Mustang. So we're going to do a real world test of the exhaust brake because I haven't had time to to test it properly, so we're just gonna go haul a car with the old rat rod. And it's a 2-wheel drive diesel, so it needs to be chained up for this, so we're gonna be taking the back roads. Here we are, picking it up. So the roads are spectacularly bad. It's not the end of the world. I mean, we've got tire chains, but if this thing didn't have tire chains, we wouldn't even move. But they do work magnificently, although they do need some more adjustment. And yeah, but my exhaust brake thus far is an epic failure. There's too many exhaust leaks. I'll figure that out, otherwise it's never gonna work. So the old Cummins, he pulls like a dam. I have to limit my speed because of the tire chains. But now she's pulling the old Mustang like it's fuck all. Not quiet in here by any means, but the exhaust brake is basically useless. I got some fixing to do. Yep, it virtually does nothing. So, more repair to be done. What a nice day. Well, we got the Mustang home safe and sound. Very impressed with how well this thing does with chains on it. Let's go whip some donuts and see if we can't get it stuck. Yeah, never underestimate the potential of tire chains. Like 2-wheel drive diesels are not known for their performance, but with tire chains, you can just cross an empty field. And granted, the snow's not very deep, but it's still spectacular what this thing will do. So I was told this 2.3 4-banger runs, and as you can see, I did a great job fixing the battery connections. Let's see if it'll start. See if it runs. I don't even know if it has gas in it. I'll have to cycle the key several times. Might not even have any fuel in it. Oh. Oh, it runs. Oh, must be out of fuel. Yeah, I might have to put some clean gas in it if we want to do a burnout. We'll see. Well, it runs like a champ, mostly because it's a Ford product, but it's clearly got the wrong idler on it. Oh yeah, it'll do a burnout. It wants to do a burnout. And it's just pissing rust out the tailpipe like golden. Oh yeah, we got second gear. Oh. It won't hold second gear. It's a 2.3. Nope. Oh. It clearly doesn't have a posi track or a limited slip of any kind. Oh, it loves it. So like usual, Ford product, not disappointed by its performance. Even with those terrible battery connections, it just fires right up and just runs like a top. And it's not even pissing coolant or oil. Mint condition. Oh, listen to that thing purr. Oh, Fords are mint. What dreams are made of. So here we are again. I had to remanufacture without my welder because it's completely destroyed, because I bought a $60 Chinese welding handle torch for my MIG welder, and it, of course, it screwed up and it keeps piling up wire, and so I smashed it, and now I have no welder until I can buy parts. So I had to do this without a welder. So I had to bolt everything on, and yeah, now to engine brake you pull this. Now the reason I had to do that is because there wasn't enough leverage pulling straight on a shaft. I needed more leverage, so I had to add the rod. And then I also installed temporarily a back pressure gauge, and as you can see, I put an arrow. We want between, it's hard to tell from there, but it's at about 50. You want about 55 pounds of back pressure to set up, or at least that's what it says online, and you know, they never lie to you online. Now I have to pull out the 6.2 Chev because it got stuck on flat ground, and I'm going to use the old 2-wheel drive Dodge, and yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. Boy, the old sling really chewed up the bumper. Good thing it's a Chev and not something nice. Yeah, it's a bit of a strange thing. It works, but I'm not getting any pressure on the gauge. Yeah, the brake is working now, but it's not working as good as I expected. Yeah, there's a noticeable decrease in acceleration, or there's a noticeable slowdown, but not as much as I expected. I might have more stuff to look at. Well, I decided to come down to the lake, which was a mistake, and now the truck is planted, so yeah, I'm totally screwed. I have to walk several kilometers home and go get a 4x4. And even then, I'm not sure how I'm going to get the truck out of here, but I guess I could try and make some ruts with the 4x4. So, as I do the walk home in shame, it dawns on me that this is exactly what I said I wasn't going to do. So I said, I won't go onto the lake because I'll probably get stuck getting on the lake. And then I said, oh, well, I'll just run down to the bottom and take a look. And when I got to the bottom, I realized I couldn't turn around and I couldn't back up. I tried. So I decided to leave the beaten path, which sounds incredibly stupid saying it now, and turn around where the snow was soft. Whoops. So what a smart person would have done is they would have started doing something that stupid at the beginning of the day, not right when the sun's going down. So if it wasn't going to be enough of a challenge to get it out of there, it should be in the dark. Round one. Oh, that did surprisingly well, actually. Yeah, I like that. That's a step in the right direction right there. So I wish I could have videotaped more of it, but it's almost dark. I did get both trucks out of there. I never managed to turn them around. I had to back all the way up that icy hill on the edge of a lake. And there's some spots where you only have a couple feet before you fall off the edge. And I actually managed to break the welded rear end on this truck, so now it's open diff again, which is scary. I don't even want to know what it looks like on the inside, and that's my fault. That's from tire chains. But yeah, so now I have more stuff to fix besides the engine brake not working to all its fucking capacity. I also have to fix a rear end again. So I wanted you guys to see this before I ended the video. I'm waiting to see how much metal is in the rear end. I assume it's ugly. Because this was a welded rear end. And it's not a welded rear end anymore. Wow, is that ever impressive? And I wonder where all the metal went. Because this rear cover, it has some sparklies, some shinies on it. Lots, but not enough to justify all the missing weld. So we can only summarize that. Oh, let's see how bad those teeth are. Oh, there's big chunks missing out of the teeth where the welds tore. I can weld this back together. I can re-weld this diff. I just got to make sure to clean it up real good so I don't take out some bearings. And we'll be laughing. So, in summary, this video has kind of been all over the place, but yes, you can put tire chains on it, but you might break your welded diff because tire chains are very aggressive. And the exhaust brake does work. A manually actuated exhaust brake works fine. I just have to fix the leaks on this one, and I will update you guys when I put the correct flange in. I bought generic stuff to cheap out, and that's why it's leaking. When I put the correct mounting flange, it will be fine. And I will update you later. But yeah, thanks for watching.